In light of the increasingly severe winter storms that are ravaging the East Coast and the looming threat of fuel shortages, having a reliable alternative heating source is absolutely critical to ensuring you and your family's survival. Today we're going to share some options that will help you keep warm through the winter if the grid goes down. Let's get to it. Okay, so winter is here, and the winter storms are ravaging the East Coast. Now we're getting a lot of questions about winter heating options. I've done plenty of videos on the channel, but I realized that we have a lot of new subscribers in the past year, so I thought I would touch on this issue once again. There's several different types of off-grid heating options. Now, most of them are going to be rather energy intensive. You're going to need a wood stove. You're going to need a passive solar energy source like the passive solar greenhouse. If you do plan on using electricity, expect to use a lot of electricity. Maybe you have a more advanced geothermal setup like the one I have at my home. But a good alternative solution to that is something that runs on a more dense form of fuel like propane, kerosene, or diesel. A great propane option that we found are these small space heaters. They come in a variety of different makes and models. They're portable. They're also very safe, and propane lasts a long time. So you can put this in storage for many years and it's not going to go bad like gasoline or diesel might. Now, diesel and gasoline, you can treat those fuels to make them last a bit longer. But if you want to set it and forget it solution, propane is going to be the way to go.
Propane, 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 propane.
Now I gotta say right out of the gates that the legalities for using one of these propane space heaters indoors differs depending on which country you're in. Here in Canada, it's actually prohibited to use these things indoors and to market them as such. Meanwhile, in the United States, the exact same product is perfectly legal to use indoors. So the regulations are entirely different when you live in a big nanny state like the one we live in. There's a good reason why there's regulations around these things. Carbon monoxide will kill you, and a byproduct of burning propane is carbon monoxide, and there's usually a lot of condensation buildup. So for that reason, you're going to want to ventilate the space that you use these in. So whether you're in an ice fishing shack, a outdoor tent, an RV, whatever enclosure that you're using this in, it has to be well ventilated. The great thing with all of these units, like these Heathogs here, is that they do have oxygen depletion sensors. So that means when the oxygen in the room reaches a certain low level, they're going to automatically shut themselves off. If you wanted to go a step further, get a carbon monoxide detector. Obviously, you're not going to want to leave this running in a place where you're not there. That should go without saying. Proper discretion is required if you're going to use these devices safely. Where a lot of people run into problems with these things is in the ignition process. The instructions are written on the back of each one of these. Oftentimes people don't follow the instructions exactly. You know, I'm guilty as charged. I don't like reading instructions either. So this one has electronic ignition. That means it's very convenient. However, unlike a piezo lighter that these ones have built in, it's not going to work if the batteries are dead. But there's always alternatives. You can light this manually with a lighter, preferably a barbecue lighter or something elongated that you can get in there. With the piezo lighter options, obviously these are going to work in any condition for the lifetime of the product. So in terms of lighting these Heathogs, it's really simple actually. It just requires a little bit of patience, especially if you're lighting it for the first time. You want to clear all the air out of the lines, and that means that you have to depress the propane valve for 30 seconds prior to pressing the ignition button. So I'm going to show you how that works on one of the larger units. So what we're going to do in order to light this, it's very simple. So we're going to turn it to the ignition setting, and that's the star setting right here. Turn on my propane, of course. So I'm going to hold this down for about 30 seconds. What's happening right now is that propane is slowly pushing that air out of the line, getting to the pilot light, and oftentimes people will not hold it down long enough, so it's not going to work. So now we see the pilot light on. Now you don't want to take your hand off the valve just yet. I would recommend holding it on there for about 5 to 10 seconds. They actually say longer than that, but usually that's a sufficient amount of time. Okay, now I can take that off. Now all I have to do is turn it to the required setting. There's 3 settings. There's a 5,000 BTU setting, a 9,000 BTU setting, and a 18,000 BTU setting. So now that's going. That's throwing off heat. The 18,000 BTU setting with the 10-pound tank, you're probably going to get around 12 hours out of this thing. If you want to quadruple that time, you bring it down to 4,000 BTUs. This one's the same thing. So essentially you just depress it, just like you did with the other one. It's important you do this for 30 seconds. Otherwise you might get frustrated, wondering why it's not gonna start. And we get a lot of phone calls from people who are confused, and I don't blame you, because when I first started using the unit, I was confused also. And it's simply because I didn't follow the instructions. Okay, so now I've been depressing it for a while. I'm just gonna turn it. And of course it doesn't work. So you might have to do it a couple times, but as long as you keep depressing it, the pilot light will stay on. So what we're trying to do is get that pilot light on. It's on now. We're gonna keep depressing it for just a few more seconds just to make sure that gas is flowing. So there we go. So that one's on. That sweet smell of propane burning. I love the smell of propane in the morning. All right, last but not least, we have the piglet, they call it. The piglet option, all you have is one on button. You don't have a dial. You only have one setting, and there's an off button. So for this one, I believe we have to depress it first for a little bit, for 30 seconds. So now I can smell that propane. I'm going to light her up. There we go. We got the pilot light on. We're gonna hold it down for a little bit. This one can be a bit more finicky. So it is on now. There we go. And right when you release it, it comes on. There's a caution hot warning sign on there for any of you Canadians out there who are too dumb to use this indoors. However, that all could change very soon, I'm told. Apparently we may become the 51st state soon, so maybe that means we'll suddenly be smart enough to use propane heaters indoors. The government thinks we're dumb. You know, we're too dumb to own guns. We're too dumb to use heaters indoors. What else are we too dumb to do?
Carry a weapon for self-defense?
Yeah, we're way too dumb for that. Having used and distributed a variety of different options from Mr. Heater to Flame King, there's just so much more in the design of these heat hogs that is superior to the competition, in my personal opinion. For starters, they have a really sturdy base. So the base is very wide. Oftentimes, the base on some of these systems is a little unstable, and so that can lead to potential tip overs, which is not a problem because, of course, there is a tip over shutoff. If you turn this to a certain degree, it's going to automatically shut off. Now, that's not going to affect the tilt feature, and that's one feature that these have that other heaters don't have, and that's the ability to tilt to direct the heat to a certain angle. Now that of course has its limitations, because you're probably thinking to yourself, well, doesn't heat just rise? And you would be 100% correct. That's why I often will pair my heat hog or whatever sort of heating system I'm using, even if I'm using a wood stove tent, I bring one of these portable lithium fans so you can move that warm air throughout the room. The other cool features of this has a really solid grate on the front. It also has a curved plate, and that just allows for better heat diffusion as well. It has a really nice, robust handle to it. And those are just sort of the general features of these designs. There's 3 sizes, so there's a 4,000 BTU unit, a 9,000 BTU unit, and an 18,000 BTU unit. A unit like this, running on one of these small propane canisters, would be perfect for a survival emergency heating option. This will last you about 5 to 6 hours if you're using it constantly for a 1-pound propane tank. All 3 of these units can run on the 1-pound canisters, but only these 2 units are made to work with the bigger propane tanks. So your 5-pound, your 10-pound, or the bigger 20-pound propane tanks, those are the ones that you typically would use for a barbecue. I'll just show you exactly what sort of options that you have here to connect propane tanks. You do have a quick connect adapter here, and you also have a swivel regulator, so you can plug in 1 pound propane tanks into here, or you can use this 20 pound to 1 pound connector, which is also works on 5 pound or 10 pound propane tanks. So you can either use the quick connect adapter, or you can use this connector, which is a little bit, you know, it's one of those, it doesn't always go in that easy, okay? So sometimes you gotta caress it a little bit. The efficiency of the propane canister is going to depend on the temperature that the canister is at. So if it's really cold where you're trying to use it, you're actually going to get less propane out of that canister. Now, Heathog resolves this issue, at least for the 1 pound canisters like this one here. So the actual propane is contained within the Heathog. The Heathog is storing some residual heat backwards into this chamber, which is warming that propane tank. That's going to increase the efficiency, I think they say by about 30%. So you're getting actually a lot more heat and BTUs out of a can of propane using one of these versus the competition. If you're gonna be running this on high, you're only gonna be getting about 1 hour and 15 minutes out of a small propane canister, which is why you're probably gonna wanna get something bigger, at least a 5 or a 10 pound. Heat is no joke. We take it for granted. The first way that most people die in the wilderness is because of exposure. Not a lot of movies talk about that. The one movie that actually depicts it well is The Road. Okay, the father and the son, they spend half the movie just trying to keep warm, and it really does the topic justice. So don't underestimate the importance of having to stay warm. Make it a priority, especially during the winter months. If you guys have any questions about these units, put them in the comment section below. If you want to get one of these, you can pick one up at CanadianPreparedness.com, and you can get 30% off if you use the code HEATHOG. Go and check it out. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Canadian Prepper out.
The best way to support this channel is to support yourself by gearing up at CanadianPreparedness.com, where you'll find high-quality survival gear at the best prices, no junk, and no gimmicks. Use discount code PREPPINGGEAR for 10% off. Don't forget, the strong survive, but the prepared thrive. Stay safe.